When I was around 18 or 19 years old, I experimented with psychedelic drugs, specifically mushrooms and some form of fake LSD. It was something in the 2C family, I'm not sure exactly what it was. However, afterward I experienced depersonalization and HPPD for a prolonged period of time. And so I freaked out and did a whole lot of self-isolating, worrying, regretting, Googling, spent a lot of time at internet forums, went to a lot of vitamin shops, saw a whole slew of doctors. I saw everything from a psychiatrist to a neurologist to a gastroenterologist. I had MRIs, among other scans. I had an intestinal endoscopy. And none of this was really insightful at all. If anything, it just reinforced the issue at hand. And I sort of struggled this way for nearly 5 years. But now, until very recently, of course, I haven't really even so much as thought about DP or HPPD in nearly 3 years. And during this time, I've finished school, got myself a decent job at a decent company, got myself an apartment, got a great girlfriend. So I'm pretty fundamentally sound. And if anything, I would say that my whole experience with DP and HPPD made me stronger as a person. It taught me a very valuable and I believe esoteric lesson about the human mind. Yeah, and so I'm not really telling you any of this to brag, of course, just to exemplify my recovery and to provide a positive anecdote, because I feel like there aren't a whole lot out there. And I think what I'm about to tell you will shed light on why there aren't a lot out there, and also why it took me so long to make this video myself. I have to put a disclaimer here, at least for me, the key to recovery was forgetting. And I can't stress that enough. Stop fighting it. Fighting it is what gives it power. It's what makes it real and gives it a hold over you. This whole thing, the combination of HPPD and DP, the whole complex, it's just a big mental Chinese finger trap. It only lets you go when you stop struggling. To expound further on this, you will start to notice your symptoms go away naturally once you stop having them in the back of your mind constantly as a confirmation bias. If you're always looking and checking to make sure they're there, they're going to be there. The mind is naturally supposed to observe the external. However, through drugs, specifically psychedelic drugs, we can learn to observe the internal. And that can be disturbing and induce panic and worry, which breeds more hypervigilant internal observation, which just serves to feed the issue as a vicious cycle. There is a psychological concept called cognitive load. The mind can only focus on so much in a given moment. If the mind is continuously occupied with itself, even partially, as is the case with DP and HPPD, then it won't be able to allot as many resources to focusing on its surroundings. And as a symptom of that, you'll likely feel more numb to your surroundings. I believe this helps explain depersonalization, at least partly. As for the visual disturbances, such as visual static, blue light ectopic phenomenon, halos, etc., I don't really think that these are disturbances at all, or really symptoms of anything other than focusing internally. They're naturally occurring things that anyone can learn to see if you focus internally. That's the level where they would manifest, is if you're constantly observing your own self, then you'll start to observe your own flaws as well. And our vision is not as perfect as we like to believe it is. There is a lot of natural noise. It's just that our brains filter them out naturally because it's not a priority for us to be perceiving that noise. Remember, cognitive load, as I was saying before. Once you start to focus beyond this noise back into the external world, it's pretty simple for your brain to relearn to not see that noise. That noise will settle back into the background, behind the scenes from which it came. I mean, obviously, if you want to, you can see it if you focus hard enough. What has once been seen cannot really be unseen, in a sense. It's like riding a bike, like if you want to see it, you once learned how, so you can see it again. But if you're focusing on the outside world, you shouldn't really notice it. And I wouldn't worry about it. Worrying is just going to cause you to notice it more because you're giving it power, you're giving it your attention, which reinforces the learning. For what it's worth, I do have a degree in psychology and biomedical sciences. I have taken neuroscience classes at the graduate level. Once again, I'm not saying this to brag, just to give a little bit of backing to my opinions and to, I guess, sort of indicate that I have thought about DP and HPPD on the physical level, on the neuroscientific level. I've read all the hypotheses, all the research papers, as few as there are that are out regarding the topics. What I will say about them, in my opinion, for what it's worth, take it very, very directionally at best. From all my academic experience and conversations that I've had with my professors, this is how much we pretend to know about the human brain, and this is how much this little corner here is how much we actually know. So people can come up with all sorts of hypotheses, and think about this all they want at that level. I mean, they really should. That's how progress is made. But at the end of the day, at least at the end of this day, and for several days moving forward, we just don't really understand this sort of thing yet. So I wouldn't overthink it. I wouldn't get too lost in all of that. If you're struggling with this presently, DP, HPPD, I just want to say that I really do understand the gravity of your situation, and I do wish you the best. If you haven't already, I would highly recommend to stop doing psychedelic drugs, just because if you're anything like me, and I really do believe there is a personality trend to experiencing HPPD and DP, then you're probably too high in neuroticism to be doing them in the first place. And I say that because people who are high in neuroticism, they need security. They need to feel secure in themselves, in their surroundings. And psychedelic drugs can do a really good job of making you feel just the opposite. I mean, imagine not feeling secure even in your own mind, which is the case with DP and HPPD. That can really spiral out of control quickly, as we experience, as we know. So yeah, for people with personalities like mine in particular, it's like playing with fire. So yeah, just last parting words: stay off those self-perpetuating internet forums. Get a super immersive hobby. Stay in the present. Look toward the future positively. Feel free to connect with me. Ask me any questions. Comment. I'm open to discuss this. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.